Hello, this is your friendly neighborhood host, JT Wheatley, back for another edition of the History of Comics podcast, this time with a new edition of Classics with Judge Dredd, The Complete Case Files '01. This is like a great collection of the original Judge Dredd comics, that first appeared back in 2000 AD, the classic British comics magazine in the 1970s, and with a character originally created by John Wagner and Carlos Desperado, which basically, and of course the editor Pat Mills, which basically depicts the world in the future of 2099, in which in the dystopian city of Mega City 1, which is basically a giant city that encapsulates most of Eastern North America. And these cities have become so violent, they've employed what are called judges, who are basically cops, where they have the ability to investigate, arrest, and execute punishments at their own whim. And the star of this book is Judge Dredd, of course, who has become like the model for the judge. He's like the completely incorruptible, always going after the criminal. And it was originally created by Wagner to be more of a social satire about the power about totalitarian states, surveillance states, and so on. He's very good at predicting things nowadays, like with the surveillance state, and even how the government reacts with pandemics, like the most recent COVID-19 pandemic. This is a great read in general. It's kind of uneven for it because, of course, the first few stories are a bunch of short stories, but some great talent in this. One notably is the great Brian Boland, who were even back then was some of the best, most detailed art you'll ever see. And yeah, just a great read in general, where you want to see where the great Judge Dredd got his start from, because there's nothing. He's easily one of the best comic book characters today. And while this series is much more satire driven about the character, of course, there is some more serious side to it, and the character has been shown to definitely tell more serious comics. And that's the hallmark of a great character, that he can go from satirical to serious and so forth, just as Batman and Superman can. So yeah, if you want to look up some great classic British comics, which is people forget too, that Judge Dredd is originally a British comic, look up the Judge Dredd, The Complete Case Files '01 trade paperback, which collects his first stories, because that, in my opinion, is a true classic.
Than a New Day pancake, more fun than a super kick party. It's the wrestling podcast from the host, who is the hammer swinging, burrito eating, well, you know the rest, of Thunder Talk, Sexy Thor. It's the Ring of Thunder, found in the Thunderverse and among the great podcasts of the ESO network.
Now is December 16th, 2021. Time for the favorite comic of the week. Cloak, #1 by Mike Richardson and Jordi Armengol, which is a new series that depicts this looks like a modern day world in which a private detective is hired by an eccentric billionaire to track down the whereabouts of the Reaper, a vigilante who once ruled the city streets, more or less kind of like a violent Batman in many ways, who disappeared 25 years ago, and now this billionaire wants this detective to track him down. Richards does a great job, kind of almost established like a parallel world where what if Batman was real and he disappeared? And granted, this isn't really a Batman; he's more like a Batman, the Shadow Armengol, because unlike Batman, he doesn't mind using two guns to take down his enemies. But he does a great job, like showing how the city reacted to him. Some people thought he was a hero, others thought he was a vigilante, and also like Batman, he had a few kid sidekicks who are now adults, who are none too happy about their past life. And it's matched by Armengol's nicely Norris, gritty artwork, which does a great job, especially in depicting the Reaper in this truly menacing and cool figure. So yeah, this looks to be a fun new series, a nice little mystery to it. It's always a good detective series is always great, especially with a nice dash of superheroes into it. So you're looking for something a little new, check out Cloak, #1 by Mike Richardson and Jordi Armengol. And then also, if you definitely want to check out another good comic book read, check out the Judge Dredd, The Complete Case Files '01, because that is a true classic.